Israel Defense Forces spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus joins me. Good evening, sir. And my first question to you is going to tip my hand, obviously, as to how I feel about a lot of this. But tell me, there's a lot of discussion about a pause. Since October 7th, has Hamas made any effort to bring food and water to the Palestinians, or did they store any for the Palestinians for when they're ultimately going to go in and start this on October 7th?
Hi, good evening. What Hamas has been doing is keeping, for instance, the hospitals in Gaza on a very tight leash. They're providing them with just enough fuel for a day or two, for the hospitals to constantly call on the world saying that we only have enough fuel for a day. And they are doing this pressure campaign, which unfortunately a lot of people around the world are responding to, claiming that there is a crisis and claiming that there's an acute shortage, when in fact Hamas has fuel, food, water, and medical supplies for themselves. And I'm happy to say that in the southern part of Gaza, there is water provided by Israel, and there is food coming in, and there's medicine coming in. So we have to disambiguate the situation a bit and understand that, yes, it's not pleasant to be in Gaza, but that there is no crisis there.
All right, but is Hamas in any way participating in bringing that food in from the southern border?
No, it is being done by Egypt, the US, and then inside Gaza, it's on Egyptian trucks. And what we're trying to make sure is that Hamas keeps its hands off that humanitarian aid, and that they don't try to take it to their fighters instead of who it's intended to use, the civilian population.
All right. Now, I'm sure you've seen the reports that a number of freelance reporters were right there on the scene on October 7th, and they were videotaping and taping and ostensibly reporting. Do you have any information that they came from Israel and that they just happened upon this, or that they just happened upon this as good industrious reporters, or do you believe they were planted within Hamas?
So we've asked for clarifications from AP, Reuters, New York Times, and CNN about who these Palestinian stringers are. The one getting the kiss from Yahya Sinwar, who worked both for the New York Times and CNN and also for AP, and the others. We know that it's the job of journalists and stringers to take pictures and document events, and we respect that. But what we are very worried about is the level of loyalty, the conflicting loyalty of these Palestinian
but it's not
journalists.
It's not even just that. They got there really fast. I mean, it's like, look, if I were there, I would have been taking pictures too. But they sure got there faster than everybody else. And so how did that happen?
Yeah, we're waiting for clarification about that. And I know it's a hot topic. I want to be careful with my words because they have weight and importance, and I don't want to say something that isn't clear yet. We're waiting for AP and the others to provide their understanding and bring data back to us, what these people have been doing and when and how they were notified. And frankly, why did they decide to invade into Israel? They're based in Gaza. They have no business going into Israel. And that is an odd thing, odd behavior from a journalistic point of view. But what I'm concerned with is something that is so many times overlooked. These journalists, they're under Hamas control, and they only report what Hamas allows them to report. And why is that important? Because when AP reports something from Gaza, then the whole world thinks that is true. And who gathers the information on the ground? People like we saw here that get kisses and embraces from Yahya Sinwar. And this is not a new phenomenon. It's coming to light now because of these events. But I think that is something that we should all be looking at and inspecting.
Well, I'm going to take the last word on this, but we are highly critical in this country of RT, Russian TV, because they are controlled by the state, and so we disregard what they say. If you're telling me, and we'll talk more about this another day, but if you're telling me that these reporters are answering to Hamas, like the RT reporters answer to the state of Russia, and that these news organizations are using them as journalists and sort of almost laundering what they're saying as though it comes through a legitimate news source after they're coming through Hamas is indeed troubling. But let me know when you get your answers, and we'll find out more on this. Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus, thank you, sir.